Thousands of people on the streets of Kuala Lumpur on the 9th of July calling for electoral reforms and an aggressive crackdown by the security forces. Among the crowd, a frail-looking 65-year-old woman demonstrates. She and the people near her are hit by tear gas and water cannon. This video and dozens of still photographs of the woman were uploaded onto websites such as YouTube and Facebook just hours after the rally. The retired apolitical English teacher has been elevated to near mythical status on the net. She's now popularly known as Aunty Bersih, after the Malay word for clean. This man, who did not want to be identified by his full name, was so inspired by her, he decided to set up a fan page on Facebook. In the days since its launch, the page has attracted more than 20,000 likes.
I think the government underestimated the power of social media because they thought they can control people's mind. You can twist the truth, you can bend the truth, but you cannot change the truth.
Malaysians have embraced social networking sites like few other nations. According to a global survey by British market research firm TNS, Malaysians spent an average of 9 hours per week on social networking sites last year, more than any other country. A Malaysian website called polytweet.org that tracks activity on Twitter relating to domestic politics saw a sharp spike in the number of tweets on July the 9th. The head of online news portal The Malaysian Insider says his site saw 6 times the amount of traffic for a typical Saturday on the day of the rally.
You have a majority of people online who think this government can do better because they have access to more information than you can get from state TV, state radios, and newspapers friendly to the government.
The number of Malaysians with Facebook and Twitter accounts has grown enormously in recent years. As they become more connected to the outside world and to one another, their potential to exert real political pressure is only likely to grow in the years to come. Azhar Sukri, Al Jazeera, Kuala Lumpur.
In Malaysia, hundreds of people have been arrested in opposition rallies across the capital, Kuala Lumpur. Police fired tear gas and water cannon at protesters calling for electoral reforms. Authorities had declared the rallies illegal and sealed off parts of the city in advance to try to deter demonstrators.
They were told not to come, but they came anyway, and confrontations between pro-reform demonstrators and police turned violent on the streets of Kuala Lumpur, precisely what the government said it wanted to avoid by banning the demonstrations in the first place. Tens of thousands came in clusters, hoping to make their way through different routes to Merdeka Stadium, the site of Malaysia's declaration of independence from Britain over 50 years ago. The protesters are calling for electoral reform and transparency in governance. But there were other groups that turned out too. These demonstrators, much fewer in number, came in support of the government. None of the sides were spared as police arrested hundreds, including opposition politicians and the leaders of all the groups, calling it only fair. Police presence has been heavy here since Friday, effectively shutting down the capital city. Some have called it an overreaction that has instead provoked the chaos that transpired. Others feel it's this very police presence that actually led to fewer demonstrators turning out than originally expected.
The particular event here is also a polarized society between those who support government and buy the government line versus those who actually genuinely want to see some kind of democratic reforms take place in Malaysia before the next general election.
Tensions remain high as protesters now try to figure out where to take things from here. But they have succeeded in getting the attention they wanted. Attention that doesn't reflect well on the government of Prime Minister Najib Razak. This is a nation that cannot hide nor ignore its deep divisions for much longer. MARGA ORTIGAS, Al Jazeera, Kuala Lumpur.
In Malaysia, hundreds of people have been arrested in opposition rallies across the capital, Kuala Lumpur. Police fired tear gas and water cannon at protesters calling for electoral reforms. Authorities have declared the rallies illegal and sealed off parts of the city to try to deter demonstrators. You can find the latest on all those stories and much more at aljazeera.net/English.